it's Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. We're coming at you with decision making this week. So many times we get lost and we are pressured and manipulated to make certain decisions, and it really feels kind of uncomfortable in the beginning, or sometimes we don't even know what's happening until it's over with and we're like, whoa, what just happened? I have no idea. I'm not really sure that this is what I actually wanted. I feel like I just kind of went on this whirlwind and this is where I popped up. And so why does that happen? How do we get there? How do people use these tactics to trick us, and to trick our mind into thinking that this is a rational decision, that this is a well thought out decision, when really it's not. Really, it's a lot of propaganda being put at you. There's a lot of emotion putting at you. There's a lot of things that persuade you to go one way versus logically you would have aligned your values with something else. And so there are three key concepts in order to understand how our mind tricks us. One is time frame. So if you ever heard a salesperson like, well, we're doing this, act right now. If you do in the next 20 minutes, I'll give you a free toaster. Whatever the case may be, that time frame, that limited time, I have to do it now. I'll never be able to get this again. We are in a dichotomous statement right then and there. And we're getting worked up and we're like, we're on push for time, which gets us immediately into that fight, flight, freeze brain, and we are no longer thinking logically. We are just emotionally reacting, trying to perform and to please somebody else. That time frame really is trying to get you encapsulated in this trying to please somebody else amongst fitting in line with their construct, their manipulation of this is time limited. The other one is emotional triggers. So really understanding that our past trauma, our past experiences will sometimes lead us into wanting to perform in a certain way. So if we feel victimized or we feel like we're the advocate, sometimes like there are commercials and there are ploys and there is propaganda out there where they're really leaning towards the trauma survivor, and they lean towards wanting to connect with that traumatized person. And you don't even know that your inner child, your trauma self is even being spoken to. You think you're hearing about the plights of certain experiences, but what you're doing is your internal self is connecting with that and saying, I was victimized. I don't want to ever be in that place again. I could be in that place all over again. I could be in my victimized self all over again. So I'm going to be strong. I'm going to advocate. I'm going to be abrasive. I'm going to break through, and I'm going to make sure that nobody ever feels the way that I felt one time, like when I was just so terrible. And this is what we do. We all have trauma, especially if you went through COVID. Like, we all have trauma. Congratulations. Chronic stress and trauma look exactly the same on an MRI. So we are all able to be victims, truly, of this manipulation tactic. It happens all the time. And you don't even know that your implicit brain is just having a field day and just eating up all this information, and you've completely lost connection with reality. And that's where those Socratic questions come in so importantly, because it forces you to start asking questions that puts you in the frontal lobe. It takes you out of primitive brain. And you start to get more executive with your decision making, which puts you in an action-oriented state and takes you away from those manipulations. And then there's power dynamics. People pleasing is how we get stuck in some of the most emotional decisions that we make, is we want to please somebody. So there is a concept in psychology, and you'll see this with sales tactics. Sales teams will use this. It's called the foot in the door phenomenon. If I can get you in the door, then I can sell you a car. I can sell you whatever it is that you want, Because as soon as you start to say yes, then you're more likely to say yes again. And then once you've said 2 yeses, you're really likely to say a 3rd yes. And if I've already gone to 3 yeses, I'm like kind of far on this path. Why not say yes again? And so that is a part of why we get so distorted. It's like, well, we've already come this far. We might as well keep going. Now I kind of want to see what happens. Went on a cruise recently, made the worst mistake ever. As I went to the art auction, I thought it would be really fun. Like, it looked engaging. They gave me a little ticket and said, hey, like, we're going to auction off this beautiful piece of art, or not auction it off, we're going to give it away. And I wasted like half of my sea day, like waiting for them to do something that they never were going to do. And then I felt so committed. It's like, well, I've been here for an hour. They said it was going to be an hour. I might as well wait longer. I might as well wait longer. And I really regret, I'm telling you, I really regret that decision. I wasted a great day of being able to look at beautiful nature, you know, doing things that I really wanted to do, the activities on the ship, all because that stupid foot in the door phenomenon, man. It really was a bummer. But it is what it is, and learn your lesson. If you go on a cruise, don't go anywhere near the art stuff. At least for me, it did not work out, but maybe I don't know what it is all about. And then we have groupthink. Groupthink says that, well, everybody around me is saying yes, and feels like a terrible decision, but everybody else is like jumping off a cliff. So maybe I don't know something. Maybe it's really deep water down there. Like, I don't want to be the only one that doesn't jump off a cliff, but I don't know, sounds like a bad idea. And so we get pressured to make decisions because, you know, we have other people who are making the decision as well. And so that's another tactic that is often used, is that, well, other people are doing it, so I mean, it can't be a bad thing. Like, other people are doing it. So these are the key concepts in order to move yourself away from and understand, you know, your triggers for emotionally reactionary decisions. And there's no shame in the game. There's no shame. It's being aware. It's naming it. It's knowing that that's what we did. Like, man, I didn't eat this morning, and now I'm like kind of jittery and I just want to get out of here. I'm just trying to say yes to just get this over with. Instead, all I have to do is say no and I'm done. All I have to do is say no and I'm out of here. And so we want to know that before we make decisions, that we are in a grounded, logical state. We're taking some deep breaths. We're doing our body scans. We're connecting to our mind and body, because there's so many ways that our mind will try to trick us. I am Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much. Hi, it's Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness. I hope you like this video. And if you do, please go and like, share, and comment below. I am really passionate about, you know, helping people live a happier and healthier life. And I really do believe that our mind is the secret, the way in which we can get into a better place. If we can just understand, be present, and understand what our mind is doing. There's no judgment, there's no shame. The mind is just acting like an organ and trying to find survival. So I do appreciate your time watching my videos. I do hope that you will subscribe to my page, get some exclusive content. Go to my website, Counseling Wellness Solutions, to look at all of the variety of things that I have to offer. I really like the idea of being able to offer a variety of supports, from these free videos to newsletters to subscriptions where you get monthly challenges and accountability partners and learn a lot more about what your brain is doing and why you act and react and why people act and react the way that they do. I have self-help books. I've got a workbook coming out later this month, or actually next month in September, that I hope that you'll enjoy, that will walk you through and build a framework to happiness and success. I've got groups, success groups. One's kicking off on September 9th, and we're going to go through 9 weeks of living a life worth living. Next 9 weeks will be the emotional reasoning, and the third 9 weeks will be interpersonal skills. How do we negotiate our value? How do we ask for more money? How do we ask to be in a better place? And how do we lean on people to get that? And then I have my individual therapy and coaching. So if you're wanting a more specific support, I'm here for that as well. So as well as my boutique retreats where it's just 3 people, me, you, and 2 others, looking at how we build this sense of accountability, how we really interject in our lives, what is causing us despair, and how do we break through it in an intensive 3-day retreat. So go and like my page, put some comments down, start that accountability, look at my website. Thank you so much for supporting me. I look forward to helping you in any way that I can. Thank you so much.